Hello and welcome to initial indie impressions of Hob, the newest game from Runic Games, the same guys who made these are the same guys who made Torchlight 1 and Torchlight 2, which are Diablo-esque dungeon crawling RPG styled games. This is Hob. I'm playing it right now on screen, as you can see. It's nothing like it. If you do play with keyboard and mouse, I'm playing on a controller. You can see, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but right clicking in it, and it feels kind of like playing Torchlight 2 or something, though I've never played Torchlight 2. No, of course. Time to talk about Hob. First thing's worth mentioning, because I remember in my last initial indie impressions game, I forgot to mention this. This game is available on Steam and Good Old Games, and I believe also the Humble Store for about, I believe it's $20 US, though I've already forgotten the price, so the onus is on you to do your own homework. So this is Hob. This is a, I would say, it's a puzzle platformer with... It reminds me a lot of Ico, in a sense. Like, even the animation, look how you run with the arm trailing behind you. It's as if you're pulling Yorda with you. So it reminds me of Ico in that sense. Puzzle platformer, but there are combat elements, which very simple combat elements. There are there's also Metroidvania elements as you discover new abilities. Like, for example, you can see this wall here looks a little bit broken. You can discover new abilities which will let you break through that wall and unlock new areas, find new areas. But it's also kind of open world, and like a Metroidvania, it allows for some degree of sequence breaking, which I think is really important for any Metroidvania. You can sequence break and do things a little bit out of order, though the extent to which you're able to do that, I couldn't entirely say, because I've actually put in about 5 hours into this game. This is, I believe, you're going to get 8 hours out of this game. And I'm playing on the highest difficulty, which, sorry, that's my start button. If I go to pause, if I go to options, game, yeah, I'm playing on difficulty very hard. It's the highest. All right. So you'll be getting about 8 hours worth of game time from this game, which is take it or leave it. And it's kind of pretty. Anyways, I think I've said everything that needs to be said about the metadata about the game, the information surrounding the game. Let's actually get and show off the elements of this game now. Simple controls, left analog stick to move. No right analog stick controls. I can't move the camera, though you can click the camera to lock on, which is useful for combat. You can sprint, you can attack, roll, combat roll, so Dark Souls, and I believe that gives you lots of iframes. And the ability... Oh, you can jump. This is a puzzle platformer. And jump and attack. Ooh. And I think the other abilities are currently locked off to me as of right now. But anyways, time to show off the game. I'm still halfway through the tutorial. I've just gotten access to my sword and my workshop. This is a Metroidvania, so you can upgrade yourself slowly over time. You can break these things and move down. So now, onto some platforming. Oh, wait, first off, jump over to here. And loot. This Torchlight's... what would the word be? Torchlight's influence definitely shows that music is really damn loud. Excuse me a moment while I turn that down. I thought I prepared this in advance. I suppose not. Music down here. What was it sound? I don't know. Let's hope for the best. During combat and collecting loot and such, it feels a lot kind of like one of those, like Diablo or something, where enemies drop orbs, health orbs, and they pick up, and you can pick them up, and you can... They come back to you. You know, that might be sound that's really loud, but that's fine. I can live with it. I'll just turn it down in post. That's that there. This took me a very long time to figure out for the first time. You can jump across like this and do that. So I got stuck here earlier. This is basically... Oh, here's a puzzle element. Pull out boxes. This is still the tutorial. So it's still pretty basic as far as we're concerned. If I push that into here, I can make it over to here. We'll be seeing some combat soon. Let's see. The camera is top down. There's nothing you can do about that. The camera does change occasionally when you're, for example, inside a building, say, or just inside a building or a tight space. The camera will actually adjust, but it's fixed. It's not like it's controlled for you. And these are save points. Here's some combat. These guys, baddies. So you just attack them. It's worth noting the combat is quite simple. It's one button controls. You can roll in the middle. Eventually, you can actually upgrade yourself to include new combos as well as your abilities that you unlock for your left arm. They call it your glove for some reason, but it's an arm. It's not a glove. You can eventually start using those for combat. Oh, here we have, and like you can get a shield, but that's later. Let's first explore. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Because the gameplay is, yeah, this you can use your ability on to teleport. The game is split into an overworld and an underworld, but it's not like Legend of Zelda, or like the older Legend of Zelda games, where if I lock on, so you can, and you can unlock as well. So you can face him. I don't like it. I prefer the very free-flowing combat. So combat is definitely simple. But that's not a bad thing per se. It's the developers, Runic Games, are well aware of the limitations and the advantages to this such simple combat. So knowing that, they really, really throw at you some hard challenges, and it gets crazy difficult later on. So the combat, though simple, really quite damn good. Really, really good, I'd say. Can I open this with my own arm? Yes, I can. And this is the second part of the game. The loop is like overworld, underworld, kind of, or overworld and dungeon. The dungeons aren't really... Oh no, they're pretty common. This is one such dungeon. So unlike a lot of 2D Legend of Zelda games, where they tend to... The dichotomy is really, really strongly felt, where the overworld exists solely to lead you from one dungeon to the next. This game actually does a pretty... That wall can be broken, so can this wall. This game, the distinction isn't as clear, though there are these sort of dungeon sections which go for quite a while and for quite a long time. What's over here? Nothing. This is a point of no return. Really organic points of no returns. I like this. Like, you can realize if I jump down, I can't go back up. It's nice. I was personally impressed by it. So the dichotomy between overworld and dungeon is blurred, would be the word. Where if I press pause... I suppose this doesn't count as a dungeon. I suppose. Hold up. I need to get up there. But I cannot. Is there something I'm missing? I need to get up there. That's where I need to go. Is it around here? Maybe. Oh, it's probably around here. Oh, Jesus. Here we have it. Well, there are, collectibles in the dungeons, but there are also plenty of collectibles in the overworld as well. The gameplay, it's pretty consistent between the two, is what I'm trying to say, and it's pretty well made. And this is the first upgrade booth. I specifically started Let's Playing at this point, specifically to show you this segment. The game is really quite imaginative and quite inventive, but unfortunately you won't be seeing it, or the parts that I'm referencing, you won't be seeing it as I'm playing this segment now. It'll be later. It'll be much later. And now we have the punch by pressing Y. We can, of course, use this in combat if we wish. And we can even upgrade it to do more damage and... You don't have to hold Y, you can just press Y really quickly for that. You do have, actually, your health. I have 3 points of health and 1 full energy bar, which is made of 5 smaller segments. You can find collectibles, Legend of Zelda style, you can find collectibles to upgrade that. Every 2 health upgrades gives you more health. Every 5 energy upgrades give you more energy. Let's move on this way. Da-dee-da-dee-da. Oh, yeah, and here's that breakable wall. You need to hold to break through walls. Boom. And if I go back, I can't go back this way. That's where I was going. Oops. Boom. And see, this is... And now the Metroidvania-esque style of gameplay is starting to shine. Can I jump over to the left? Oh, yes, I can. And loot. The Metroidvania style gameplay mechanics are starting to shine. As you can see, I can now access new areas using my new abilities. There are another 2 abilities, which might seem a bit shallow, where it's like, oh, only 2 extra abilities, but it's enough. It's enough, and you get to use them in... they're all distinct in their own right. Oh, do I need to... Oh, no, I don't. Unfortunately, there's no cancel. Once you start charging, you can't cancel it. Annoyingly enough. That just bothers me. Maybe it doesn't bother you so much. And see, here's an example of the camera changing. The camera does change. This is why it reminds me so much of Ico. For some reason, I noticed. It's the camera changes as well as... just the animation style as well. It's like a higher fidelity Ico, is what it is. Because even that animation, look at how he runs. It looks like he's trailing for those who haven't played Ico, it's basically fetch quest, not fetch quest. What's the word? Where you're pulling an NPC behind you for the entire game. Basically, you're literally holding hands with her and you're pulling her forwards with you. That's what Ico is, and that's the animation looks a lot like what you'd see in Ico. This seems to be a cutscene. Oh yeah, and here's our friend. He's the one who's giving us our quest. The game prides itself on, or it's a feature. If I just be quiet for a moment. Mm-hmm. All right. And then there is a map. I'm going to be heading upwards to the left now. Yeah, going leftwards. Okay, sure thing. The game prides itself, or it's a feature of a wordless narrative, and that's certainly the case. Though at times it's a little bit confusing or uncertain of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. This golem friend of mine pointing over to the left. You have to go over here for some reason, and he points to this sort of cable on the bottom. It's literally, it powers, it sends energy through the world. What you'll be doing is you'll be powering segments of this world, unlocking new areas, finding new abilities, and so like for example, once you power the segment all the way to the left, the power will run through here and you'll be able to access whatever's over here, and you'll be able to go down there. So the game prides itself on being able to deliver a wordless narrative, and that's great. But unfortunately, what tends to happen is you don't know why you're doing it until you've done it, and then it all makes sense why you've been doing it in the first place. Which is, I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan. This is the workshop. Let me show it off. If I press start, it's not saying. I don't know. This is the workshop, which has 3 segments, 3 things to it. You have this here changes your outfit, which I have none unlocked at the moment. This here actually is your upgrade station for your, as you can see, add a 3rd more powerful combo attack or summon a shield from your arm. Let me just do the 3rd more powerful combo attack. From experience, it's more useful. And so now we have slightly more complicated, more nuanced combat. Because if I just mash, I'm playing on controller, you can't play this on mouse and keyboard. If I just mash the X button, the attack button, I'm just doing a 2-attack combo. You have to deliberately, on the 3rd attack, wait a bit. You actually have to sort of stagger your attacks ever so slightly in order to have access to that 3rd final attack. It's definitely nuanced there, and it is more powerful. I think it's twice as powerful as the rest. So, and unlike Ico, this game has kind of good combat. This here is for upgrading your sword. Let's pause. On the left, actually, let me get out into the overworld because it's just nicer looking. On the overworld, you can see on the left of my screen, you have this arrow that's those and the silhouettes. Those 3 silhouettes are for my sword, upgrade sword. The red, it's a heart. There are 2 of those for upgrading my health, and the cog, that's energy. 5 of those upgrades my energy. And this here is a teleporter, which I believe I have access to nowhere except here, which doesn't matter. Now, I could go back and explore the earlier region I was in before, like the very start of the tutorial, but I think I'll decide against it and actually continue because I didn't charge up fully. I've gotten used to the faster charge in my other save. I feel like I've said everything that needs to be said about this game so far. I could go back and upgrade, get a shield, but it's not really all that important. Oh yeah, that's an important place during the tutorial. That's pretty much the setup for the tutorial. Oh, close. To summon your weapon and to close it, you have to be standing still and pressing B. The problem is B is also the roll button, so it creates these awkward situations where you want to remove your weapon. Well, I want to remove my weapon, but unfortunately, what tends to happen is I end up rolling instead. I don't recall. Ooh, let's first. I feel like I know there's an energy cog that I'm missing. Oh, something absolutely worth mentioning. Ah, here we are. Here it is. This game is extremely strict on what it considers fall damage and what and not. And in fact, there is gore in this game as well. And when it comes to fall damage, I feel like the gore is a bit out of place. And that's energy. This is where you find energy in. And I'll show you where you find health in a moment. The game, very strict. There are certain height, like if I jump from, say, this height, I stagger, which is fine. You can cancel that with a roll the moment you, Dark Souls style, you can roll and cancel the whole stagger. Any higher than that, I would say any higher than perhaps this, and you die. It's just, it's sometimes comedic, it's comical, just almost how gory your death is. You just sort of explode into a bag of blood. So the game is very strict, but at the very least, it's very, the word would be, it's very consistent. It's consistent and it's very clear what is considered fall damage and what isn't, what heights will and won't kill you. But it's still very frustrating when you accidentally slip ever so slightly. I don't know what I'm doing here. I can't quite recall what this place is for. But yeah, there's the matter of the gore being a little bit out of place. And the music is actually absolutely worth mentioning, I think. What was the purpose of the... Oh, you know what? It's probably to power this at a later time. This is very close to where the tutorial... that's where you start the game. I'm just going back here to show you the collectible for hearts, for increasing health. It's these kind of vine-looking things. You need to have collected your sword in order to be able to collect them. The music is... It's fantastic. I don't know how to explain it. Because it's very ambient music. That's certainly the case. It's an ambient soundtrack, but it's so very ambient that it would almost feel like it adds nothing to the game. And there are those are friendly creatures. You can attack friendly creatures if you like, if you're a monster. I am playing the good old games version, so I suspect there are Steam achievements for this, but I don't have them because I'm playing on GOG, DRM free. So the music is very, very incredibly ambient. Yeah, watch this. Boom. Horrible. Can I find another one? I want to test something out. Maybe I can show off where I think the gore is sometimes maybe a little too much. No? No other animals? Excuse me? Nothing? Oh, no, butterflies. I'll find some more up ahead. Doesn't matter anyways. So the music, it's very ambient. It feels almost as it feels almost a case of the music adds nothing. Boom. That kind of just... It looks like a very Half-Life 2 Source Engine gore from many, many years ago. Half-Life 1, where they just explode into chunks of meat. It feels weird. It's especially weird for some of the really big enemies, that if you can make them explode into chunks, we will say, it kind of seems a bit strange and out there. I was saying, the music, it feels like you would lose nothing from turning it off, but it's so ambient, it's so subtle, it adds so much to the game. Excuse me? Not quite? I believe this is the next area to go. I will like to show off the next area before we call it a wrap. Just to show off more puzzle. Because the puzzle in the overworld, not so... This is another organic point of no return. This... Whee! It's... So the overworld puzzles, they're a bit light, or lighter. They focus seemingly more so on the platforming puzzles rather than puzzles outright. Hello. Okay, God. Oh, there's two. See, so the game is well aware of its... Ow. Oh my God, wow. That killed me first. That's fine. Okay, it must be because I'm playing on the highest difficulty. Initially, when I started playing the game, I was playing on normal difficulty, and then I upgraded to very hard after I got used to it. Let's have a look. Yeah, let's just do some light exploring first. So the game is certainly, as I was saying, it's aware that the combat is simple. It's aware of the limitations and advantages of simple combat, and it plays to those advantages, to its strengths rather than its weaknesses, and it creates some really, really visceral, really exciting combat encounters. See, now I kind of wish I had a shield. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Dodge, dodge. Okay, so much health. They must have more health playing on high difficulty. That's another collectible up there. You can see the fly just flying up in the top left corner. That's a collectible. That's useful for only for purchasing new robes for your... I think this guy's called Hob. I'm going to call him Hob. For him to wear. The one, my personal favorite is the one where you move faster but you have less health. It's just because moving is so much more important than health, I think. Oh yeah, see, this big guy, if I can make him explode into gore... Ah! Ah, no, no, no. If I can make him explode into gore, that will be very much appreciated. Oh, no. No! Oh, that didn't kill me. Oh! That would have killed me. Boom. Got him. Yeah, I feel like that gore seems just a little bit funny looking. Don't touch these vines. These vines hurt. Yeah, miss me. Let me collect that last health orb. Yeah, you can see these kind of Diablo-esque orbs float. I almost called them hobs. Orbs just floating around, waiting to be collected. Which, yeah, that's fine. You can see they're playing to their strengths. Runic Games, they are. And they are absolutely... They're really accessible, I want to say. See, this is one such element of... One of this game's favorite ways of blocking off certain areas, later areas from early areas, are doors like this. Normally, I'm on the correct side. When this is powered, I'll be able to open it. But one of its favorite ways is like such. So if you imagine Dark Souls, yeah, the whole world is interconnected. It's all open world. It's open world on a kind of micro scale. On a macro scale, you can go anywhere you want on a moment-to-moment gameplay basis. But in terms of the sort of the large-scale macro, see that over there? That is the sword collectible. On a macro scale, it seems kind of linear. Let's go leftwards first and collect this sword shard here. This adds an air of mystery, perhaps. This guy looks an awful lot like you do, and it begs the question of who am I in the large scheme of things? What is happening in the world? The game is trying to get across this air of mystery and brutality. Oh, save point. Which is, that's fine. That's cool and all. Though I am concurrently playing Rainworld, which I absolutely love and adore. It's one of my favorite games. Pretty much. Okay, for this year, it's my game of the year. I'm going to say that right now. It's my game of the year, and that's when I played it several months ago, 2 months ago. Aha, this is one of these big areas. If I, not pause, if I press start. That's this is one of the areas where you unlock. This is the area where I realized just how imaginative this game really is, and that's when I fell in love with it. But as I was saying, this game's trying to get across this feeling of brutality and mystery, but I'm playing Rainworld, and I think Rainworld does a much, 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 much better job of it than this game ever could. And I realized that the creator of Rainworld, like Jor Jacobson, maybe it's pronounced Jor Jacobson, perhaps. I realize he's Swedish. He kind of stumbled across it accidentally, and oh, Jesus, there's... Whoops, careful now. I don't like this guy. Oh, God, I didn't charge up fully. Give me your health, please. Please. Come on, come back here. Oh, I'm concentrating a little bit, and I realize my commentary is being very silent. Because as you can see, this game... Oh, you're trying to get down there. Oh, look, buddy, I was just saying hello. Oh, my God. I'm playing on the highest difficulty. Keep in mind, you don't normally die this much. Once you get a bit of health, you stop dying as frequently, and you can actually survive much, much, much longer. I was here. Okay, let's head rightwards. This place, again, it's all interconnected, so you can go any which way you like. Here's what I'm saying on a moment-to-moment gameplay basis. Let's go up, actually. Moment-to-moment gameplay basis, it feels very open. Ah, gosh, I was hoping I'd... Come on now, I just want them to die. It's so much easier when you have like better abilities, and you can just sort of, you can warp to them, for example, and you can bring on the pain that way. I'm showing you an awful lot of the overworld exploration and not so much dungeon exploration. I promise you, there is more to it than this. Oh, here's the next area. You know what? I think I'll head downwards first. And then, show off maybe a little bit of this new area. Oh, another treasure chest. Oh, and look, there's a heart container up to the right. I know that's there. You don't necessarily know that's there. So the game is trying to get across. So a point of criticism: the game is trying to get across an air of mystery and brutality. No, don't hit me. Oh, Jesus. But I do think it hasn't done necessarily the greatest job. To most, it's probably good enough. But to me, a player of Rainworld who loves it, it could be better. Another point of criticism, and this is like a veiled criticism as well as a compliment. Runic Games are known for being really, really open and accessible. And finally, a new health upgrade, Excelente. And let me just... This is very close to the tutorial, the very beginning of the game. Runic Games have known to be very, very incredibly accessible to the public. So whenever you have an issue, whenever there's some sort of issue at all... Oh, a schematic. This is... I found myself a new cloak. Nice. You can also find yourself new upgrades for like, a new attack or a new... This is... To use those, you have to go back to the workshop and purchase them first before you can actually use them. Let's go through here. Nice. So Runic Games, they're really... They're very community-oriented. That's certainly the case. They're lovely, which is... I say this because, unfortunately, I've had this game crash on me a total of 5 times. 3 times during gameplay, which was seemingly at random, and another 2 times when trying to start recording this episode, actually. Every time I start a new game, my game will crash, which is not very good. You don't want that. But this leads on to that compliment I was talking about. At the very least, the company, it provides whenever the game crashes, a pop-up window opens up immediately saying, oops, it seems Hob has crashed. Please type out what you were doing last and include your email address. And you send the report, and it sends with it a lot of other data as well. Oh, Jesus, I hate these guys. They're lanky. Don't. Come on now. Oh my God, he's gonna do so much damage to me, isn't he? Okay, we'll leave that alone. But there's a way in there. I think if you go further downwards, or further to the left, there's a hole in the ground where you can jump and press Y to break through it. So that's what you're supposed to do. So the game has crashed to me, but at the very least, Runic Games provide me with a very easy way of sending a crash report, very quickly, very easily. This is kind of like the macro gameplay loop, where you find a new area, you're given this kind of a view, and you uncover a new area. Usually you don't find a new area, you uncover new areas, you create new areas, so to speak. And doing that... Oh, I can't access this yet? There's like a walkie. You enter this place. Oh, let's go down here. I see. And I'm seeing to the left, there's that handle that the button I need to activate. So on a macro level, this is what you'll be doing. You'll be discovering new levels, solving these new levels, which in turn unlock, solving these areas, which in turn unlock new areas for you to, here we are, which unlock new areas for you to explore. And again, the world is very open, it's very interconnected, so oftentimes you will actually end up coming back to this area through a couple different ways later on. And this is one of the main mechanics of this area. Pressing the button, it pops out this energy. Okay, look, I just want to pick it up. Also, another problem that the attack button is... Oh no, look. Oh, wow. That the attack button is also the interact button, which is somewhat annoying, in my opinion. What does this do? Oh, this is going to charge the nearby area. And now I have access to teleporters. These things. Yeah. But I need to get up there first. I should be able to climb. I can't remember. Is it... It's currently locked, so I suppose... So, for example, the main goal of this particular area is you see this zappy dappy downstairs. Don't touch me. I will end you. There's the larger goal of this area is to basically just turn that off. Gives you access to the rest of the area, especially on this crab walkie guy. You can use this guy to walk around. It's basically a crab. Anyway, it looks like I have to go through the door. We're approaching half an hour, and this is my second like review style episode. I'm still working. I'm still trying to get better. Oh yeah, new enemy type. This is where we start implementing. Okay, first let me. Oh, I guess he'll just kill them for me. Yeah, the game, it's kind of like, it's great in that it's very open. So you have to punch him to break off his armor before you can. Oh no, careful. You have to break off his armor before you can actually do any damage to him. Otherwise, you just keep bouncing off, leaving yourself open to counterattack. He takes a lot of hits. There you have it. So yeah, you will eventually have to start using... Whoa, careful. You will have to start using a lot of your abilities eventually. Your abilities will be implemented very organically into the combat later on. Don't stand on these... Can I hit you down, please? Yep. That was too easy. Now give me my loot. Please. Thank you. Just making sure it gets to me. So eventually you will have to be using all your abilities in combat, just because there are some enemies which require, for example, you need to hook them before they become vulnerable. That's that type of thing, which is, I said it's organic, but sometimes it feels a bit ham-fisted. But again, the combat, it's simple, but it's aware of this. Is that an enemy down the bottom? That's, yeah, it was hidden behind a tree. Roll away, please. You can kill these guys one shot, I believe. Come on. There you have it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Here we are. Hopefully I just want to try and get to the next dungeon. I totally went the wrong way, but that doesn't matter. Onwards and upwards. Boom. I'm being silent again. So I'm already past the... Oh, no. Look, I was meant to pick it up. Ah, that's frustrating. Look, pick it up. Don't draw your sword. Oh. That seemed a bit buggy. Anyways. I don't know what else to say. This is Hob for you. This is... Hopefully I've done a good enough job showing off how the game is supposed to be played. Combat, yeah, simple. Let's see what this does here. Oh, it will rotate it. I see. It'll rotate the platform up top. See, I feel often the times with this game, it's, I believe the trope would be called Chekhov's key, where every puzzle, once you solve it, it's not like puzzle elements come back and get repeated over and over and over again. It's more so that I have no idea where I'm going or what I'm doing right now. It's very... Once you've solved the puzzle... Can I use this here now? No? That's strange. Trying to remember what to do here. Yeah, this is important with the puzzles. Once the puzzle is solved, it's officially solved. That's it. It's over. Which is fine. Okay, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have jumped down. Which is fine. It's very quality of life. It's very... It's inoffensive and mild, is what I'm trying to say. Where that sounds like a bad thing. It's just a quality of life decision where it makes it really easy that once you solve the puzzle, you don't have to constantly keep it at the back of your mind that maybe this thing you've picked up or this thing you're using has to be used again elsewhere. No, it's used in this one place and that's it. There are no fail conditions. There's no fail states in this game, which is fine. Yeah, this is where I was meant to go. And this here's the next dungeon. Oh, this is where you get the next ability, the warp, and I'll actually show you off. Maybe show off the warp. So like, for example, if you press start, I can see there's that silhouette in the center of the screen. There's a cog, there's a piece of energy that can be found here. Which is, yeah, it's all nice, but unfortunately it means there's not much by way of replayability, I don't think. And because it's so just stock standard, it makes it a little less memorable in the end. See, now I'm actually being a little bit more critical of this game. I'm actually analyzing or doing a review as I was hoping to have done. Maybe I should write down my thoughts before I start doing these videos. It'll probably help a great deal. I wonder. And oh yeah, here we are. Here we have it. So ultimately, it is. So a lot of these puzzles, you solve them, you don't think about them again, you're good, you're golden. So it's not like these, like the boxes, you can move around boxes which power certain areas. Or like that power thing where I was grabbing it and putting it into the slot. Once it's put into the slot, you can't do it again. The puzzle is solved as far as it's concerned, which is fine. It's just, again, quality of life, but a little less memorable, but a little less frustrating as well. Or a lot less frustrating, frankly. And this is where we get to show off the teleport ability. And again, press RB. And here we are. Oh, and here we, for example, one such example, here we have a bar which if I press, oh, Jesus. If I press X and hold, I can rotate. And once I'm done, I can't rotate it again. Nothing I do will let me rotate it. See, the puzzle is solved. There's nothing more you could want with it. It's done. Which is, that's useful, but I would argue it reduces an element of replayability. Now, this is a timer. I need to be quick. Sound design, I don't think the ticking sounds particularly fantastic. It gets the job done. Oh, this is where I was. Now, where's that actual battery or the... oh, I'm back up here. Oh, I suppose I missed it. I must have. Oh, well, no matter. This is Hob for you. So, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. I am actually seriously considering let's playing this game on the channel. So, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. There'll be... Where the hell am I? What can I do here? Oh, I can turn off the... And now I have access. Now I have access to the rest of this area, I see. So stay tuned. I do appreciate your viewership. And again, to reiterate, finally, see that crab walker is working. Let me go grab that really quick. Yes, please. Thank you very much. This is fun. You grab him and you're like... And you can squish things as you walk on them. And this is a requirement because you can't... this lets you access new areas and such. And I think if I go downwards here, yeah, see, if I sit on that metal plate here, it'll actually charge up the rest of this area. So wow, I've gone well over time. This game is available on Steam and Good Old Games and the Humble store. And yeah, stay tuned. See ya.